Okay, so today I'll be covering the basics of Python and all those things which will be required in this following mentorship program. So, people who are in this session, please kindly connect this meeting with your laptop so that you can code and watch this session simultaneously. So for coding and all, we'll be using Collab. So I would like expect every one of you go to this site collab.research.google.com, and you can open one more page. This one, okay, automate the boring stuff. So after going to the Collab, you can click into new notebook. So if you are in Collab right now, I would suggest everyone please go to the Collab. So today's session will be the basic session of Python. I will explain the basics of Python which will be required in this following mentorship program. So everyone who doesn't know about Python can actually follow up this session, and people who know it can be kind of a refresher. And we'll follow this book, automate the boring stuff. So I would rather suggest you guys also open up Collab in your laptops, and yeah. So and this site also. So we'll go through everything. So first thing, introductions and Python basics. So we'll start with normal Python basics like okay, first make us a new notebook. Let me make a new notebook. Okay, after making new notebook, yeah, it's loading. So once you make the new notebook, session 2, so we'll start. So Python is a very interactive, it's a very good language. Actually, it's a very easy language. It was designed for the students of class high schools and all. So initially it was designed for that, but it was so much handy language for the students that they preferred using it for all those purposes. Initially it had a very low user basis, but right now if you see, Python community is the most big, it's the largest community after JavaScript. So yeah, so Python has done really great without any kind of advertisements or any investment. Python has become a become a very it's become the best language ever. So in the field of data science, data analytics, anywhere like if you go, Python is used everywhere. So it's very necessary. So people who don't know about the Python, I'll explain you. It's very easy. It's similar to this other languages which you have done, but much more simpler. So yeah, if you know other language, you can actually easily grasp the concepts of Python. So we'll start by different Python examples. So as you can see in this book, they have already mentioned different kind of topics of Python. So these are the basic topics which you can actually cover it up, all those operators and all those things. So you know already operators, what are operators. So these are kind of operators. So this all will be covered in the book itself. So I would suggest go to the book and read about that. And yeah, so your first program is this. Yeah, this is hello world program. So yeah, these things are very simple. We'll just skip it up and go to the next portion. Okay, so let's just, again, 2 minutes ago I just let's just make a program where I'll explain you how to use for and print statement and all those things. And let's see, let's go to the next. These are simpler things. These are also operators. So these things are very simple things. Okay, so Python, uh, instead of normal coding languages, it has some kind of word-based um, conditional statement. So instead of normal conditional statement, it has word-based. For example, you can use and like if through, and remember that here through is not capital small letter, it's capital letter. So you have to put through T in capital letter, and it is a word-based conditional statement type of language. So as you can see, you can if through and false print. For printing, you can use print command. Other options are there, but yeah, we use print generally for our pseudo coding, and you can print anything. For Python 2 initially you didn't have to do this kind of thing, but in this newer version of Python, you have to actually use brackets for printing and all. There are many major changes in the Python 3. So yeah, so this is kind of a conditional statements where word-based conditional statements are used. So this is the benefit of Python, where you can actually see it's very simple. Next part is we'll just make a small program to get you through these functions and if else state conditional statements and operators and all. So let's make a program which prints such kind of some kind of staircase. So So we'll make a program which prints such kind of staircase given that n is given. So let's make that it's a very easy program. Print steps. So how to define functions in Python is very easy. You have to define it using a define argument. So you can see here I have used def is that means define. So you are defining. So where you can see we are defining a function. So in other languages like in JavaScript or any other language, you use like functions and define those functions. But in Python, you can actually define it very easily using def keyword, and then you can name that functions, give it some unique name, and then actually you can give a you can give a colon, and then you can go to the next line. Remember that Python doesn't has any brackets or something like that, so you have to use proper indentation. The indentation, if you don't give proper indentation, then it might create an issue. So for us, for this program statement, we have to know, like we have to create this print statement. So let's just okay. So for this, what I have to do? Okay, so for this, we have to just print out those asterisks and create a staircase, and that is right and aligned. So we'll do it very easily. Like we'll just define as kind of a one step. Yeah, we'll create a step. So for Python, we are defining setting a variable is really easy. It's y equal to symbol, and then whatever variable you want to. You don't have to define what type of variable you want to define, because Python automatically detects what type of variable you are defining. So yeah, so it doesn't require you to define the variable type. And yeah, so we are defining the variable, and now next thing is for loop. So for you can write it very easy without any brackets or something like that, because it automatically identifies the I mean using its indentation thing, so it automatically identifies where the for loop is starting and where it ends. So you don't need any kind of bracket for this. So yeah, and for I in so other language you write it like for like for JavaScript PVC you write it for let I equal to 0 semicolon, then you just give it like I is less than some value and then semicolon, then I plus plus. For this you don't have to do this ideally, so you can use range function. So range is a function given by Python, which is inbuilt function where you give any number, and so okay, I'll explain you what is the range. So given any number, okay, for range is it's a function. If you give some number like 10, it will print out all those. It will make a range of all those numbers starting from 0 to 10. So, but then range is other. Okay, so but yeah, but range is other like thing is like you can put steps. I mean, you can put start, stop, and step. So if I put 0 as a start and So in by default, the start, stop, and steps are like this, and yeah. So start and steps are 0 and 1 so by default, but I mean you can give the start and steps of that range and tell them, yeah, you can start at this and this you can end and do your thing. So let's print out what it is printing. We'll print out very simple. We'll make a one more like uh, so one more thing about Python is like you want to do some operation inside an array, you can do it very easily. Like I inside the array, this is shorthand form of iterating inside an array. So you just iterating inside an array and you are doing item based logics. So for example, I'm multiplying everything by 10. So yeah, so you can see it will the range starts at 0, it ends at 10, and it has a step 1. So it creates a list, it creates a range like 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah. So it doesn't have 10 in that range because it stops before one element. So yeah, so before 10 it stops, so it will be stopping at 9, and you'll have numbers from 0 to 9, and yeah, and you can do element based operations inside this array. As you can see, it's a shorthand form of doing those kind of operations. So in future, if you have any other arrays where you want to do these operations, you can do it very easily. And now I'll print that array. So yeah, you can see this. It takes 0, multiplies 10, takes 1, multiplies 10. Yeah, you can do similar to this. And since you are using interactive Python console, you don't have to print ideally, so you can use it like this itself. So there's nothing. Yeah. So I have explained you how to use range. And similarly, one more thing which comes in handy is splicing. Maybe you guys are not that experienced about splicing. Splicing it's a very good way of handling an array. So it's necessary to know splicing and all, because in pandas and all there they have some kind of uh, log and ilog using which you do splicing of an data frame. So you should know actually how the splicing works. So it's similar to the range start stop. So you can just comment it out. This thing is start. So in case you don't know what is going on inside this function, you can actually just hover on that function, and it will give you all those documentation about that function. And even though if you don't understand about that, you can search in Google, because most of the developer uh, Googles it out. So that's a very good habit for googling. Yeah, and the three arguments which goes inside this function are start, stop, and step. So it's similar to that only. I mean, in this thing. So initially, I made an array. I'll also write it properly because I will need it in the next line. So I made an array where it is 0, 10, 20, and it's like 0 to 9 and multiplied by 10. So what I'll do splicing. Splicing is just similar to, taking a part of that array. So in the algorithm and all, you need to do splicing and also. If you're writing any algorithms and all. So yeah, so in pandas also you have ilog and log things, so using which you can splice a data frame. So yeah, you have to do in this, where you can actually use this column. So 1 8. So you can see that if I put A is not defined because I have not made an array. I'll use one more. Yeah, so you can see 1 to 8. So it didn't count at 0. So from 1 it starts, stop, and step. So the catch is like you can start at 0, stop at 8, and steps 2. So the second element will be first 0, then 20, and then 40, and then 60. So yeah, so you can see this happens. There is one more thing which you might know about this. So you can put like this. Okay. I guess. Okay. Okay, I forgot the proper way of. Okay, if you give Okay, if you give minus before the steps, so what it does, it iterates from the back side, and when you do 0 to 8, okay, it not iterates to the back side, it iterates, yeah, it iterates through the from the back side by giving it a step of 2. So if you give minus, you can actually reverse the array, and if I put 1, you will see the reversed array will be generated. So yeah, so that's how you reverse an array. It's similar to how you do using your function itself, but in a shorter form. So in case you are doing some kind of splicing and everything of your data frame, you can use such kind of thing. Also, you can put steps. Now you can consider that array as a reverse array. So if I put 0, what does it come? Let me see. Okay, it comes 0. Yeah, I'll consider it from 0 to 8. It doesn't come. Yeah, so you can see that it starts from 8 and goes to 0, given that the array is reversed. So you can basically get an idea that how these things work. So you can see that by giving a negative symbol, a minus symbol in front of the steps, will makes the array reverse, and then you can use 8 colon 0, just reversing the way of writing that. Let me see if I put on 9 if 90 comes first or not. So yeah, so in case if you are using it like that, it won't come anything because you are not reversing the array. So you need to reverse the array and then start from 9 to 0. So yeah, and if you give like 5, it starts from 5, it ends at 0, and you want to give a steps of 2, and you want to start at 9 and 1. So yeah, it's just with the reversed order. So the first two elements of this splice is reversed, and so I'll give you. I'll say wait because in the end I have to share this thing. So this is what splicing means. So reversing an array, and this is how you use that. So this is splicing, and it will be used in future also. And for this, like for this code, we will be using. Let's just make it an optimized code, and okay. Cool. Even if you don't want to use an optimized code, you can use so like where the problem statement is, you have to give this is hash after every 3, and it is a right aligned. So you have to think like that. The first 3 will be in space. So we'll create uh, for I, for j in range, and then I'll put I minus I minus sorry, for j in range, yeah, steps. So basically this will go inside steps, and this will go steps minus minus I minus 1. So if you see what I am doing, I'm just iterating from 0 to the one last before last step. So that I'm doing this, and I'll just add street. So you can actually concatenate your strings inside, and you can actually concatenate your any items inside any item. So for example, if you want to concatenate anything in your array, you just can do like this: array plus equal to, and then you just give an item. So I'll give some 25 or 12. So let's see array works or not. So you can see that array. Okay, I'll go to the. So you will see this 12 will be added in the end. So you can do this kind of things for additions, element addition. Other than this, there is one more thing, like there is known as dictionary. You should know about dictionary because it's very important, because many file formats comes into this dictionary form. Many data comes into dictionary form, and even if you're handling APIs, you should know dictionary, because all those requests data are in JSON format, which can be then converted into dictionary and used for your own purpose. So dictionary is basically, it's a key value pair. So there are 3 ways. Like I don't want to get into deep of this. There are list. Then sorry, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there are three things: data structures, lists, dictionaries, and tuples. So tuples are used in order you want to return any thing. Like many places, it is used. For example, if you want to return an element, if you want to return three elements uh, in single return statement, you can use tuples. For dictionaries and all the data are handled using this. So main thing is dictionary because all the data things will be handled. All the data will be there in this format. So you should know dictionaries and arrays. So array I have already explained you before. Tuple is nothing. It's like where everything is in ordered way. So it's actually tuple. So this is a tuple. So yeah, I mean it's ordered. For dictionary, it might not be in ordered way. So you have to define the key of that thing. So for me, I'll put name and I'll put email ID. So this is key value pair. So most of the data, yesterday I have shown you some data, right? So those data are like in the form of JSON format. It's a dictionary form. And in order to read those data, you should know, I mean, dictionary. So here dictionary, you can see it is the key value pair. And for accessing this, so yeah, for accessing these elements, you can actually use the key and yeah. So we'll use. So I have not assigned any name to this. So DIC. It's a and accessing is like same. It's like this. So you can access the element of that dictionary very easily. In Python, you can create array of dictionaries. So it's very easy. You can actually create multiple arrays of dictionary. Like I can create dict and so basically now you can access that array of dict. So, and I can access the array element. I can access the email ID. So yeah, that's how you access the uh, elements in any dictionary. And actually, this is very useful and handy in future. Like if you are playing around with data. So next thing is like yeah, we are into this code making the staircases. So let's make the staircases for. I mean, here you can see we are giving three spaces, and then we're giving one hash. So basically, there if you can see we are using this steps minus I minus 1. Here I iterate from 0 to n minus 1. So here n equal to steps and minus 1 because I want to go beyond. I want to stop the one beyond that. So that's why it's like this. Uh, Now I want to put for j in range. So basically I'll put steps minus I minus 1 to I'm just appending it. Appending is very simple. You can use this command plus equal to, and this will append your thing. And yeah, so you can then you can print your step. Okay, so basically I changed that thing to string. I hope it works, but it didn't work because it's inside. Okay. For I in range of steps. Yeah, so because I'm not calling this function, let me call this function from here. Just calling the function is very easy. You can Okay, so there's an issue in this because okay, I in range steps minus j in range steps minus of I minus 1. Okay, and I'm taking it as okay. So basically, I am just making the steps outside this function. So you can see I have created this wonderful staircase by creating using this function, and you can see how, from this that how to create a function and all those how to loop. So range I have already explained what is the use case of this range. In future you'll be using range in many places, and yeah, steps you can do the same like splicing here or itself. Steps it will go other things. So main thing is like you should know splicing, you should know about how to do this for loops and a little bit of about dictionary. So this was the main agenda behind this tutorial. So yeah, next thing will go this boolean and all you already know because you are a coder. So uh, let's go to something non-trivial. It's all simple. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let's this functions. Third one is function. I have already explained function. Now we are into list. List is already been explained. So if you want to get yeah difference between list and arrays, lists are linked using some things. So yeah, I mean I want to go to the tip. So these parts are already covered. Okay, copy models, copy and leave copy. So in case you are not getting it properly, you can refer these books. But you might not need like you should not go so deep into this because anyway by doing it itself you will learn everything about it. So this thing is covered. Dictionary data type. I have already explained the dictionary data type where you can see everything is explained in a proper manner. You can go through this if you want. There he makes a program which solves tic-tac-toe, I guess. I have a large hash symbol. Okay, so I mean nine queens, I guess. I don't know what is this, but yeah. So here multiple programs are there which explains you how to solve tic-tac-toes and all those things. And we'll go to the next thing. Oh, manipulating strings and all I have already explained. In order you want to change something about so you want to append in strings you can do like this. So joy equal to joy dash equal to you can write joy by addition like by plus sign you can append into strings. In other languages you have dots or some other. So in this you use plus. So using this you can see it will okay. So yeah, it appends escape character. These are the characters which you will be using for string manipulations. These are not multi-line commands, indexing, slicing. All I have explained. The X, the join, split. So yeah, I mean splits and joins are really important because if you are doing some kind of coding computations, I mean in a coding computation you will be given a text data. So you will be given like that. The text data consists of like this and sorry zero sorry something like one. Uh, okay, yeah. So something like one. No, so something like two, one, two, minus one, minus two. So and two minus one minus one zero zero. So basically, when are you doing any kind of coding computations or something like that, the data are given in form of a text where you will be given some kind of such kind of like first line will signify how many test cases are there. Second line will give you the test case, And even though like second line won't be test case, second line will be like some value of that test case, and you have to iterate through the number of test case and iterate to each test case and get all those variables. And yeah, so input should be like this. In this case, you want to actually get those things into an array. So in that scenario, what you can do, you can use splits and joins. So if split is very much necessary, you can split it using uh, spaces. So Jorash is good. Yeah. So okay. So this is will create an array of all those elements. So when you are given text data, so you can split it out and use it as an array. So in case you are using some kind of, if in future if you are doing some kind of like NLP system or something like that, and there the text data are given into raw form, and you have to convert into array, so you can do this splitting and all. So yeah, split and join is the other part. I mean, join is like joining those things. Splitting strings and partitions, this all are like, okay. So justifying text, I'll this. These are just giving spaces. So before what I did, I just used uh, kind of. I mean, I just used looping for doing the same problem statement. Now, what I can do, I can just use justify, and you can see it will become much more simpler because you don't have to do much. So yeah, so okay. So basically, justify means you are just giving spaces the left hand side and right hand side. So you can write the same code using justify itself and make it much more simpler. You can do left justify, right justify, and all those things, and handle command line arguments and all those things. Yeah. Also, how to input using this is like you can use input command. So a equal to input. This I don't think so we use oftenly, because only if the parameters are being taken every iterations, then only you use this command. Please enter your name. So you can see that in this way you can take the inputs and store it in a variable. So yeah, copy the right face, and these things are not necessary. Adding bullets to the wiki map. These all are program statements you can go through if you want. And we'll go to the next options. We'll wrap up by 40th, 840, and yeah, I mean finding patterns, regular. Okay, so the regular expression is actually a really great thing. If you require, I can. If you need, I will keep different sessions for this. Using the regular expression, you can kind of do some wonderful things, like you can scrap comments and get those email IDs out of those. So basically, so if you see, I have so for example, just a small example. What I did, I kind of scraped all these comment sections, and we have scraped along 50,000 data from this comment. And sorry, yeah, it has. So some of the comment section has multiple email IDs. So what we want to scrap out all those email IDs. So in this case, for scraping data and all, you have to use regular expressions, because the data might not be like you will in a proper order. So here you can see people have written exploring entrepreneurship and given in the command his email ID. They are good initiative email ID. So if you want to scrap out the email ID, you should know regular expressions. So using that, you can actually scrap out the email IDs. So that and all, I'll keep it in next session. I'll keep it in next session. And pattern matching also I'll explain in the next session. I have a slide on that. I'll share the slide also. And this I'll explain in the next session. So yeah. And okay, next thing, input validation. Validation and all is done using the if else statements. You can actually see this. Uh, so yeah, what is this? By okay, so this validation is like just in, it's a kind of, you are validating the inputs of the users. So yeah, this thing and all, it's like very straightforward. You can watch these documents. With this, like I want to wrap this up because already I have explained much more things. So just go through this and I'll be explaining about regular expression tomorrow. And we'll do some small type of data validations and all those things. I mean, we'll actually do kind of data handling tomorrow. So yeah, with this thing, I will wrap it up, and I'll also share this thing with you in this WhatsApp group. So yeah, please attend tomorrow's session where I explain scrapping because sorry, yeah. So in tomorrow's session, I'll explain regular expression, and it is a very interesting topic. Without that, you can't do anything like data validations and all. So yeah, attend tomorrow's sessions. I'll see. I guess tomorrow's I can't take the session because Vivek is taking the session. I will explain about regular expression day after tomorrow. So yeah, with this I want to finish it up. And all right, so I guess if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. I'll how to create new notebook. Okay, someone is asking how to create new notebook. So just go to this site collab.research.google.com. So basically, you can go to this site and you can click on the file, and they will have this option known as new notebook. So just click on new notebook, and it will automatically create a new notebook. And if you see, there will be an option for connecting here. You can click on this connect. Actually, in the last session, I explained you how to create this new notebook. But yeah, so you click on this connect, and it will automatically connect. So yeah, these are the basic operations of Python. Important one from this is slicing and and range and this dictionary. So these are the important one. Day after tomorrow, I'll explain the regular expressions of Python. And yeah, with this, I will wrap it up. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in this comment section. And tomorrow, Vivek will take the. I mean, Vivek will take the session. So yeah, with this one, I'll wrap this session. Thank you everyone for attending. I hope uh, you learned something. I'll share this thing also. Yeah, so I'll share it in the group and you can actually go through this and understand these things. Alright, so bye. Have a good